Okay, children. Today we're reading the Applesauce fic by Crunchy Bone Daddy on Wattpad, and the chapter title is "This is Why God Isn't Going to Pay Us Any Visits." Author's note: this masterpiece is dedicated to Jesus, Northern Downpour, and Aubergine Submarine on YouTube. You should subscribe to those, dude. They're pretty neat. Also the editor, thank you for doing this. This is set in the same universe as the Milk fic, except for the Milk fic, it's implied that Brendan and Ryan have a consistent BDSM relationship. Doesn't really fit the mood I wanted for the story, so we're just gonna pretend that in this universe, the only not vanilla thing they do is the milk enema.
You're not putting applesauce in my ass, Brendan.
Ryan said. He walked over to Brendan and shut that laptop he'd been looking at. Now come on, we need to go to the store. Brendan stuck his tongue out at him and reopened the laptop. I wouldn't be putting it up your ass, Ryan. Would you just read this article, please? Explains it all right here. 10 ways you can use applesauce to spice things up in the bedroom. I think it sounds interesting. That's what you said about the milk. You like the milk. Ryan shook his head. We can talk about this later, Brendan. Right now we need to go to the store, unless you feel like having ramen for the 5th time this week. Because they're fueled by ramen. Are they even signed by Fueled by Ramen? I wouldn't be opposed to that. Ryan rolled his eyes and shut Brendan's laptop again. I would, he said. He grabbed a set of keys off the top coffee table and tossed them to Brendan, walking out the door without another word. Brendan reluctantly stood up and went to put on his shoes, mumbling about how he could very easily stay inside and let Ryan sit in the car waiting for him, before stepping outside himself and locking the door behind him. Oh, this is probably a very, very crucial plot detail. I have applesauce with me right now. So, keep that in mind. Okay, time skip. Ryan tore the list in his hand in half and handed one piece to Brendan. You're just fucking... You get that stuff and I'll get this, he said, gesturing to the paper he was holding. Brendan nodded. Meet me back here in an hour? Ryan made an okay sign and walked away. Another time skip. Brendan got everything on his list and was about to head to the checkout when he noticed something. He was in the aisle where they kept the applesauce. It couldn't hurt, he thought to himself. Just because I get it doesn't mean you have to use it. Brendan glanced around to make sure that Ryan was nowhere to be seen. Then he quickly shoved 8 large jars of applesauce into his cart. Brendan sprinted to the guest bedroom and hid the applesauce under the bed while Ryan was getting more grocery bags from the car. Ryan came back into the house just as Brendan returned, out of breath, to the kitchen. Ryan quirked an eyebrow at him but said, What the fuck is quirking an eyebrow? Do you like? After they'd finished putting groceries away, the two of them went to sit in the living room. Want to play Animal Crossing? Ryan asked. Fucking course he does. That's the most bottom game ever. I totally don't play Animal Crossing. Brendan, well, that's why they play it on the Nintendos. I fucking need to stop. Shook his head. You said we could discuss the applesauce when we finished at the store. I don't think I said that. Well, I do, Brendan huffed. Ryan sighed. Fine, let's see this article that you're on about. Brendan smiled and happily got up to retrieve the laptop. When he came back, he opened the laptop and handed it to Ryan. Ryan rolled his eyes almost immediately when he saw the screen. BuzzFeed Brendan, really? Could be worse. Brendan reasoned it could be the Cosmopolitan. Ryan shuddered. Please don't come to me about anything you've read in the Cosmopolitan. Well, don't worry, I won't. Ryan stared at him. If you say lol out loud ever again, I am filing for divorce. Brendan flipped him off. Read the damn article, he said. Ryan read through the article, giving Brendan a concerned look every so often. I'm giving the author a concerned look. What the fuck is this? The hopeful expression that Brendan had been sporting fell upon hearing those words. Ryan felt a pang of guilt at how disappointed he looked. He looked back at the computer screen and clicked back on the profile of the person who read the applesauce article. Brendan smiled. Aw, thanks, babe. That's really sweet of you. Ryan returned his smile. Anything for you, darling. Get you a significant other that calls you like a fucking darling. That shit is. Ryan typed out a quick email to the author. As soon as he hit send, there was a knock at the door. Damn, that's kind of quick though. I'll go see who it is, Ryan said, when he set the laptop to the side and got up to see who was there. When he opened the door, he was greeted by some kid wearing 21 Pilots sweatshirt and clout goggles. He was holding a bag, which he handed to Ryan as he stepped into the house uninvited. Nice place, the kid observed. I have a bad feeling on who this kid's about to be. Ryan stared at the kid, absolutely baffled, before collecting his thoughts and asking, Excuse me, but who the hell are you? Oh no. The kid turned to him. You can call me Jesus, he said. Ryan recognized that name. You wrote the applesauce article? Ryan exclaimed. He was completely dumbfounded. Aren't you a little young too? And that's completely accurate. I know nothing about sex. I don't even know what a vagina is. I mean, this could be a joke, but could also be true, because my school's policy is abstinence and not educating us on anything. Jesus Christ. Jesus placed a finger to his lips. Hush, that isn't important right now. Just then Brendan entered the room. Hey Ryan, who's... He stopped when he saw Jesus. Ryan? Ryan shook his head. I don't know who he is, but he's the one who wrote that article, and now he's in our house. Get him out of here. Brendan looked at Jesus, cocking his head to the side. Nice shirt, he said. Jesus grinned. Thank you. Bro, I wish Brendan here would compliment my shirt. That would be so fucking sick. Ryan suddenly remembered the bag that Jesus had given him and then looked down to see what was inside of it. His stomach leapt at the sight. The bag was filled with singular cups of applesauce. Cheers. He looked up at Jesus. What are you doing here? He asked. Jesus cracked all of his knuckles in one fluid motion. How the fuck do you do that? I don't even know how to crack my knuckles in general. How do you, do them all at once? You emailed me, he said matter-of-factly. You wanted advice, and I'm here to give it. Jesus moved his clout goggles down to the rest of his nose so he could make eye contact with Ryan. Unless you're too much of a coward, that is. Ryan glared at him. I'm no coward, he said darkly. No, that's not what you meant. You meant darkly, but you spelled it darkly. Good, Jesus smirked. Then let's get started. Will this be enough? Ryan asked, motioning to the bag of applesauce. Yeah, they said they were 8 fucking jars, dude. Oh no, that's for me. I believe your husband here got all the applesauce you two will be using earlier. I'm just gonna fucking eat all the fucking applesauce, dude. Brendan raised his eyebrows at him. How did you? I know things. Jesus smiled. I know things, remember? Okay, Brendan and Ryan exchanged a look before following Jesus into the guest bedroom. Jesus got the applesauce from under the bed and placed the jars in a straight line. He turned to look at the two of them. Now, he said, picking up one of the jars, I can only help you to a certain point. I mean, yeah, I'm a fucking minor. I can provide guidance where it's needed, but this has to be rather spontaneous. You have to do it with feeling. He handed the jar he was holding to Brendan. Let's see what we're working with. Eat. Brendan gazed hesitantly at the jar. He twisted the lid off and placed his lips at the rim, slurping up the applesauce that was at the top. He'd be fucking light. I just fell over. That's the power of the applesauce. Also, I'm clumsy as shit. He lapped his tongue, swallowing as much as he could at once. Okay, you can stop now, Jesus said contentedly. Brendan pulled away from the jar and licked the remaining applesauce from his lips. Just fucking... How'd I do? He asked. Not bad, Jesus replied. We need to add more elegance. You definitely put feeling into it, but your tongue movements should be more graceful. Try that. Brendan nodded and returned to the applesauce. He tilted his head back and once again let the glorious liquid cascade down his throat. He lifted his head every now and then to run his tongue along the inner rim of the jar in order to clean up the sauce that might have run down the sides. Ryan was engrossed in watching Brendan. This was invoking a kind of insatiable desire in him, the likes of which he'd never felt before. I thought Ryan was the bottom dude. Jesus noticed and asked him, Ryan, would you like some applesauce? Ryan took the jar of applesauce from Jesus and twisted the lid off as fast as he could. He tried his best to mimic what Brendan had done at the beginning, suctioning of the applesauce rest at the top, occasionally reaching his tongue down to gain access to some of the deeper sauce. And they got whole fucking jars of that. How long are their tongues? Jesus sat back and watched them clearly, and they'll have to be long skinny tongues. What the fuck, dude? He jovially shot back his own cups of applesauce and supplied them with new jars whenever needed. Before Ryan realized that he was on his 4th jar of applesauce, he was so invested in watching Brendan while simultaneously nursing his own jar that at first he didn't notice Jesus shaking his shoulder. It's time for breakfast, Jesus said. Ryan looked at him confused. I made pancakes, you lazy homo. Wake up. It took a moment for Ryan to understand that it was in fact Brendan who was talking to him, not Jesus. Oh, it's just a dream. And that he was not in the guest bedroom eating applesauce, but rather in his own bed, being woken up by his husband. Thank God you're finally awake, said Brendan exasperatedly. Your pancakes are gonna get cold. Ryan rolled out of bed and pulled on a t-shirt, following Brendan into the kitchen where the table was set, and there were pancakes and a fruit salad waiting for them. Thanks, babe, this is really sweet of you. Brendan smiled. Anything for you, darling. Just as they were about to start eating, there was a knock at the door. Ryan sighed. I'll get it. Ryan opened the door to see none other than Jesus standing before him. His face paled and his eyes widened. He slammed the door before Jesus had a chance to say anything. Brendan came into the room when he heard the door slam. What's going on? Who was it? Ryan shook his head. Brendan went to look out the window. Ryan, you slammed the door on some kid. What the hell? Yeah, Ryan, don't be rude. I'm just a fan who found your address. Ryan swallowed. Yeah, sorry I panicked, I guess. I'll see what he wants and come back to breakfast, okay? Yeah, Ryan said okay. Brendan went back to the kitchen, Brendan went back to the kitchen, Ryan reopened the door. Sorry about that, he said. You just reminded me of someone. Oh, okay, the kid said. Well, I think this is yours. He held out a wallet. I saw you drop it at the park the other day, but I couldn't catch up with you to return it. Oh, Ryan explained. Thank you so much. I've been looking all over for this. Yeah, the kid said. You're welcome. Well, I have to go. Have a nice day then. You too, Ryan said as he walked away. What did he want? Brendan asked as Ryan passed the kitchen. You found my wallet. I'm gonna put it away really quick. Ryan went to their bedroom and tossed the wallet on the bed where it landed open. Ryan was about to return to breakfast when he noticed something that he didn't think had been in the wallet before. A small slip of paper. He went over and removed it. He unfolded and smoothed it out on the bedside table. It simply read, it said the fucking Lenny face, dude. Ryan was a bit confused by this, but then he noticed a smudge on the corner of the paper. He ran his finger over it. It was sticky. He lifted his nose and he smelled it. He recognized that smell. Applesauce. Author's note, I'm not sorry, you should be. This was a crime against humanity. Jeez, I don't know how serious you were about reading this on your channel, but do it, I dare you. I am. Yeah, have a nice day, afternoon, evening. That goes to you too. It's evening, but have a nice time. To my editor, to whoever's watching this at whatever point, have a nice day, dude, and don't forget to hydrate with some fucking applesauce, especially after this fic. That's when you'll want to be eating applesauce the most.